I couldn't be more excited that we've already made it into February, because that means that winter is almost in our rearview mirror and we get to be starting seeds, which is the most fun time of the year because we're daydreaming about what's to come this season, thinking about all the things that we want to be growing, what we're going to be making for our pantries. It's just one of the most magical times of the year. And we finally really get to start sowing some seeds. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through the usual, which is our flowers, veggies, herbs, and then a little bit of experimental seeds at the end of this video. So you want to stick around for that one. But with that, let's get into the video. If you're new here, my name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada, and I garden in Ottawa, Zone 5. So this is going to be a bit of a repetitive video to the January sowing the seeds, and that's because there's just not a ton that you can be planting between January and February. They're pretty similar, so it really just depends on what zone you're in and when you've put some of these seeds in the fridge for cold stratification. So it's going to be a bit repetitive. If you did watch the January video, then you are already going to know the majority of the seeds to plant in here. But if you did miss that video, then you're going to want to watch this one. So the first is the flowers, and these are all of the ones that you cold stratified in the fridge in January. So if you did miss that video and you haven't done this yet, don't worry, because not all of the seeds technically need to be cold stratified on this list. But if you haven't done it yet and you want to grow these, just go stick the seed packets in the fridge right now. And then by mid to late February, you can still be planting them. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. The first one is milkweed. Of course, this is one of the ones that is very important for our monarch butterflies. So if you are planning on growing it, make sure that you're pulling it out of the fridge and getting those in the soil for this month. Next up is lupins, which is one of my all-time favorites. I struggle to grow these every single year, not from seed, but when I get them out to the garden, because the bunnies love to eat these lupins. So I'm glad that I've gotten a few to flower, but the hardest part about growing these ones is getting them to survive from being eaten. But these also could use a cold stratification, and so now you're going to want to bring those out and plant them. Next is columbine. So both columbine and lupin have a wild variety to them and also a botanical or horticultural variety. So if you are trying to grow more native plants in your garden this year, choose the wild lupin variety and choose the wild columbine variety. So this way, between the milkweed, the columbine, and the lupins, you're already on your way to a beautiful native garden for this season. Next up on the list is coneflowers or echinacea, which is another native variety of flower. So now we're already at 4, which means that this is the year of growing native flowers. So I hope that you are adding all of these to your garden this year. Another one that is going to need cold stratification. So if you haven't put it in the fridge already, make sure you do, but otherwise pull it out and it's time to start sowing those seeds. Next up is lavender. Lavender also does enjoy cold stratification. And as I've mentioned before, if you are growing this one from seed, it grows really slowly because it is a woody plant, but it also doesn't like its roots being tight in a pot. So as you are growing this one, make sure that you're upgrading it regularly and actually faster than all of your other seedlings, because it just wants a lot of space. So as it does start growing and you notice if it's stunting at all, upgrade it right away, because that's the reason why it's taking so long. And then it is going to give you so many new large plants. And finally, foxgloves, which is one of my favorites. This is a biennial, so you're going to want to sow these seeds every single year, because the first year it grows leaves and the second year it grows a bloom. So it's really important that you grow them every single year, so that way you get your plant version in one year and flowers at the same time. And this is just one of those most magical flowers that you can add to your garden. All right, before I move into the vegetables, I do want to mention that I have this amazing square foot garden planner that you can download off my website for free. And it's a really interactive tool where you can use a drop-down menu to choose whatever type of vegetables that you want to be growing. And it's going to fill up a 4x8 garden space where it will tell you how many of that specific plant can be planted in a square foot. And then on the right side, it's going to create a list for you where it accumulates everything that you've planted in this 4x8 garden. So that way you know how many seeds you need to sow or how many seedlings you need to buy from the greenhouse in order to fill up that garden effectively according to the square foot gardening method. So if you wanted to grab it, I will put it in the link below for you. And again, it's totally free, so you have nothing to lose by downloading it. Okay, let's get into the vegetables now. All right, so I have two that are new this month that weren't in my January video, and the first one is strawberries. Strawberries are tiny little seeds that turn into tiny little plants, and if you want to be able to grow your own fruit from seed this year, then you're going to want to start them now because of how small they are. They are going to take a little bit of time, and depending on the variety, some strawberries will also produce fruit in the springtime. So the earlier you start them, the better chance that you're going to get that first round of spring fruit. And the second one is asparagus, if you want to grow asparagus from seed. So this is one that you're gonna do more likely for fun than anything else, because when you grow asparagus from seed, you're talking about a 3-year commitment to harvest. They are a perennial crop, as are the strawberries. So if you are trying to change out your garden to more perennial vegetables, asparagus is a really great one, and growing it from seed can be very economical versus buying the crowns, but just know you are honestly setting yourself up for a 3-year timeline. The other thing about growing asparagus from seed is that you won't know whether your plant is a male or a female plant, because asparagus grows as both male and female. And the male asparagus produces more stalks than the female does, but the female is the one that produces seeds. So it really just depends on how you want to set up your asparagus garden. When you buy crowns, I don't think that they ever will tell you if the crowns are female or male plants. When you're growing from crowns, you will get your asparagus faster because you only have to wait 1 to 2 years before you can harvest asparagus from crowns. And you'll be able to know within a year or two if you have male or female plants, and you can decide if you want to remove all of the female plants out of your garden. So if you are growing asparagus from seed, you're going to want to plant these now. All right, the next ones you heard me talk about in the January video, and that is onions, chives, and leeks. So you can be sowing these pretty much anytime from January to March. If you need to get seeds, this is actually your reminder to go out and buy seeds for them so you can plant them sometime in February. But if you do plan on growing them, you're going to want to sow these now. Also from the list in January is peppers. If you haven't started them, I really recommend starting them in February. You really don't want to be starting your peppers in March or later. So this is kind of your final call to be starting them. January is a really good time if you want to have like really huge plants, but you didn't miss the boat by starting them in February. I am going to be putting out a video for you guys next Friday on everything you need to grow peppers successfully. So I'm going to be giving you pepper growing tips. So if you aren't really great at peppers or you don't quite know what you're doing, you can wait until that video comes out next week. It's not a huge deal and it's going to help you be successful. But I do recommend sowing your pepper seeds at least by mid-February, and try not to wait too much longer because they do require that much time in order to grow large enough plants to produce a lot of fruit for you. So the sooner you start them, the better. Next up is artichoke, and this is because of that cold stratification that your artichoke plant needs. So if you missed my January video, then you're gonna need this information, is that artichokes are a perennial plant, and just like foxglove, they spend their first year growing leaves and roots, and then they flower in their second year. But here in Canada, we can't actually grow them as perennials, at least not in my area, because our winters are just way too cold and it would kill the plant. So what you need to do is you need to trick your artichoke into thinking that it has lived 2 years and it's gone through a winter. But the problem with that is that your plant needs to be large enough to have grown its leaves and roots to put out a good sized flower, which is what you're eating on the artichoke. So this is why you want to start them as early as now, because you want to make sure that that plant has reached a good size. Now it needs to have temperatures that are below 12 degrees Celsius. It can't be below freezing. So you want your temperatures maybe like 5 degrees to 12 degrees Celsius for 2 weeks. So you can do this artificially if you find a way of putting it into a cooler with a light, so that way it can still get sunshine while it's growing, but also gets cold temperatures. Or the other option is to start them now. So that way come April or May, when we are sitting around those 10 degrees Celsius temperatures, you can put your plant outside and let it get those 2 weeks of cold temperatures in order to know that it's putting out a flower in that year. So that's why you want to start them now. Last year, I grew them and then put them out in cold temperatures, but my plants weren't big enough and the temperatures were a little too cold, and I ended up killing a few of my seedlings. So you really want to make sure that your plant is in a good size, shape, and is healthy, so that way it can handle those cooler temperatures. And finally is celery. I also mentioned this one in January, and that's just because this one grows really slow and you want to make sure that you get a nice good celery during the summertime. It's one of my absolute favorite foods to snack on in the summer. So starting them earlier now gives them the right amount of time to be able to be a good size for you to plant out come spring. All right, so there are 3 herbs that you can be starting. Rosemary and parsley I mentioned last month, and it's the same this month. If you haven't started them yet, then you do want to grow those 2. Rosemary is a woody plant, so it's very slow to grow, so you want to start that now. And parsley just has about a 3-week germination timeline. So from seed to sprout can take 3 weeks up to a month. So since it is so slow to germinate, you want to get this one into the soil as early as possible. And the third one that's new in today's video is sage. Sage is also somewhat of a woody perennial plant. I've had years where I've had my sage come back year after year, and I've had years where my sage has died over the winter. But for the most part, it can be a perennial herb, and it's also a woodier herb. So you want to start this one now too, to give it that length of time. So that way you can be harvesting from it, which is a key for Thanksgiving stuffing. So if you want to be able to grow your own sage this year for your Thanksgiving meal, you're going to want to plant these now. All right, so these are my final ones, and these are for the more advanced gardener or people who are in warmer zones than I am here in Ottawa. This isn't for me right now, but if you are in a warmer zone or you grow undercover, love experimenting, love that kind of late winter, early spring gardening, then I recommend trying to start kale or Swiss chard now. This is one that you normally start about 6 weeks before your final frost date. So say your last frost date is May 15th, then you would be starting them on April 1st. But if you start yours on February 15th, for example, then you could be planting out your kale or Swiss chard on April 1st. If you grow in a zone 6, like the Toronto area or even Vancouver or in the US, and you grow under cover, planting out your kale or Swiss chard on April 1st is actually not that crazy of an early time. Like, you really can be getting good temperatures around 10 degrees Celsius as your daytime high. So if you plant in a cold frame or a hoop house, your kale and your Swiss chard should survive, and your soil should be already defrosted enough that you can be working with it and planting it. So if you do want to try experimenting with a winter gardening or any of that, then I recommend trying your kale or Swiss chard. If the weather isn't playing ball with you, worst case, you keep them inside longer and you can actually eat off of them. So it's really not a huge deal. You just get early harvest from smaller kale or Swiss chard leaves until you can plant them out. But I recommend experimenting and trying to plant them mid to late February if you are more advanced or just curious about that experimentation of cold season gardening. And the same goes for cauliflower and broccoli. You can even try cabbage if you want to right now. And this is all with that idea that come approximately April 1st that you can be planting them outside under cover. So if this is something that you wanted to try and push the limits on, then this area of the video is for you. And that is everything. In March, there's going to be a little bit more to plant, but really April is that kickoff time for us where we're really planting a lot of stuff. So I will see you in that March video where we're going to talk about the next round of seeds that you're going to be starting. But otherwise, stick around for next week's pepper video so you can learn all of the tips to be getting a guaranteed harvest no matter how cold your season is. And if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out this video here. Bye.